If I could go back and redo high school, I wouldn't just say to study harder or get more involved, because we've all heard that before. I'm a second semester senior in high school, and I think I'm one of those people who did like a lot to prepare for college. But with that being said, there is way more to high school than just trying to chase extracurriculars or grades. So here are some things that I would have done differently had I been able to restart high school right now. My first tip is to take videos and pictures of everything and just document everything. Because for me, I didn't take a lot of pictures, especially in freshman year. My first picture ever of high school was during like summer band camp, and it was just like a pan around of the room that we were in, but that was it. And I didn't have a lot of pictures from that season, and I'm really sad about that, because 4 years later I low-key forgot a lot about that season, and I just really wish I just had more documented experience and like footage of what happened. Because if you really think about it, it's just really those in between or like random moments that happen where your high school life is really made up of. Because like, yeah, you'll have highlights, but what is your everyday routine made out of? Don't like bulk delete a lot of videos that you think are useless, because I did that and I really regret it, because now I don't have a lot of videos from freshman year. But throughout high school, my main afternoon routine would just be coming home, dumping my backpack on the ground, and just getting work on my computer right here. And it's good to have an established routine, but a lot of the time, if you want to study like really well and really intensely, you do want a change of scenery, because it's more exciting and you just feel more ready to be studying, especially if you went to that place just to study. So this doesn't even have to be a big change either. Like literally, you could just move to, instead of being in your bedroom, to studying in the dining room or like the living room, or even outside if you have a patio and it's a good day. I personally really like it when I'm in a very busy area and there's people walking all around me and there's like talking, and I'm just like in the middle of the super busy area. Because when I think about it, right, I'm like doing my work and then suddenly I'm like on my phone and I'm scrolling and I'm locked out again. But then if I have all these people around me looking at me with like a little bit of judgment, you know, they're like, why is she, if she has all these books out, why isn't she studying? I feel that sort of intimidation, and it gets me like in the mood for studying. So I don't know if that's for everybody, but that's my personal tip. My next tip is to start exploring your artistic and other just any passions very early on, because my biggest regret ever was not going into theater more, especially my freshman and sophomore year. Because as a senior now, I feel like it's too late. Like once I go there, everybody already knows each other. It'll be really awkward if I start now. Like obviously now I've joined the musical pit, but sometimes I just really wish I was like actually on the stage, you know? And I feel like that could have started a lot earlier if I had just looked at more into theater classes. Like you don't even have to join anything formally, but for example with like the musical, if you want to, you can just tag along with a friend who's already in theater and just like watch the rehearsal for a day and then just see whether or not you like the environment. And honestly, for me, the biggest roadblock in achieving these passions was just because I wanted to like maximize my activities, my classes, like through all 4 years of high school, just so that I could have an easier time going to college. And like obviously I fulfilled that, like I'm going to my freaking dream school, but I just really wish I had branched out and taken less courses for the merit of the course and then instead focus more on the activity of the course. And one suggestion I have is to like look more into each course. I took AP Stats in sophomore year and I honestly really enjoyed it, but not because of like the actual content, but just because we freaking just ate snacks every day. Like part of our experiments was to like count these things and like find the mean, whatever, like do all these stats things, and then at the end you got to just like freaking eat all the food. But something like that just makes the class more fun. So if you can ask around and ask your friends like, hey, how's this teacher, or like who teaches this course, like it'll just give you a better overall view of what's available to you, and you can have more incentive to explore around and look at what classes you have. And maybe that's a bad example because it's also an AP, like despite being an easy math like a lot of people think. But if you want to and you want to take a non-AP class, a lot of schools offer like online school along with regular school. So right now I'm taking AP Psych and AP Chinese online. So if you want to, you could just take an online like non-AP class. Like if you want to take astronomy, you can take it online, so that way your regular schedule is still like all your APs or whatever you want to like maximize your schedule. But you can also have these fun classes on the side and you can like get the most out of your high school experience. My next tip is to dress up and explore your style more. Now, this may be controversial because not everybody values appearance that much or cares about their appearance that much, but for me, I'd always wanted to change something about myself and just see how I'd look in different styles. And after I tried to find that personal style, I felt like more fulfilled and more confident in how I looked in school. It's not necessarily an academic thing, and I'm not saying you have to change your looks to be happy, but if you like, you know, customizing yourself, then being able to start that earlier will just make you happier. And yeah, maybe you'll realize, like for example for me, I realized that I looked really bad in junior year. Like in my past vlogs, I look back, I'm just like, oh, like okay, but I started and look where we are now. I'm pretty happy with this. And if you're like me and you didn't really feel confident in how you're dressing and you didn't really feel prepared to start, just keep your end goal in mind. The journey will all be worth it. My last tip is to start thinking about college essays in freshman year. Okay, hear me out, right? Because I know a lot of this was just saying don't consider college that much, like really branch branch out, look at what you actually like. But let's be for real for a second, because you do want to have that goal of college in mind if you're going in that route. But for me, when I was writing my personal statement for the Common App, for example, I was really trying to think of a lot of the anecdotes that I had, or like short stories or fun things that happened to me, and I didn't have any because I forgot to write down all the fun things that happened to me. So I would say if you want to put in any work at all in freshman year towards college, start a Google Doc and name it like fun things that happened to me that could be college essay like motifs or themes. And then within that document, for example, how I was talking earlier about recording the funny moments in freshman year, you could also record them in this document, because then when you come back in senior year, like assuming that you continued this document through like freshman, sophomore, and junior year, like then you have a 3 years worth of like fun anecdotes and like moments that happen, because then you won't have a generic essay about like a sports injury or like a death. I don't know, that sounds pretty bad. But if something weird or profound happens, you'll have that down by senior year, and you'll have something to really be standing out with on your essays. And again, this doesn't mean you have to start thinking about college early, but even if you don't end up using any of these anecdotes for your college essay and you go something totally different, you can have this document at the end of your senior year and look back and be like, oh, all these fun things happened to me in these 4 years of high school. I'm so glad I have these all remembered and put down, because now my 4 years of high school don't seem, you know, as boring or as bad as I thought they would be. That's the end of my video, and if you guys enjoyed, you know, like and subscribe. As you can tell, my hair's been falling for this entire video. I've been trying to keep it up, but I can't hide it anymore. It's falling. But anyways, yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.